It's your art teacher, Miss Barnett. And in this week's lesson called Time of Day, we've been talking about how artists use a color wheel to develop color schemes, which are different types of colors that can create different types of feelings or mood in our artwork. So the two types of color schemes that we've talked about today are complementary. Remember, a complementary color is a color that is across from each other. So yellow and purple are a complementary color, blue and orange, and green and red are complementary colors, as well as the tertiary colors. So we can look and we can see there's lots of colors that are opposite of one another. The other color scheme that we talked about is analogous colors. Analogous colors are next door neighbors. So if you look around the color wheel, they'll be the colors that are right next to one another. Complementary colors give the feeling of active and dynamic and energetic spaces, while analogous colors tend to create more harmony and a calming effect or mood in our paintings. So what I did, like I talked about in our previous video, I went out and I made a sketch. So this is a sketch of where I'm from. It's called the Tennessee Valley in Alabama. And it's going to be a mountain range with the sun rising. So I've gone ahead and I've labeled my colors in there. Remember, you can either take a break and do this at home and draw something special to you, maybe your backyard or a beautiful view, or we could look online and find a picture that speaks to us that is very beautiful. You're going to think and plan, like I did, where your colors are going to go. So mine ended up being a complementary color scheme because I'm using orange and blue in the sky, and I'm using yellow to light purple to blue, violet, and blue green. So yellow and purple are opposites, so it's going to be a more energetic painting. So we're going to do that today. Once you've made your sketch, you can get started. You're going to need a pencil to sketch, and then I'm going to transfer that drawing onto my big paper. You're going to need paint as well as black and white to make your different tones that you might need for this project. And you're going to need a color wheel to kind of give you some help in mixing your colors. So once you've gathered your materials, we're going to get started. Remember the three things that I'm grading you on. Your sketch should show an outdoor place at a certain time of day. Your student, make sure you've made a plan for choosing your colors, and your finished painting will show a planned color scheme. Remember, we're either doing analogous or complementary. Let's get started. All right, friends, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sketch and I'm going to transfer it to my big paper, and you can watch. Here we go. All right, friends, now that I have transferred my small sketch onto my painting paper, I'm going to get out my paint. I've got the three primaries and black and white. Remember, all colors are made from these 5 colors. You can also use your color wheel as a reference here on mixing. Remember, all secondary colors are mixed from the primaries, which are yellow, blue, and red, and they make orange, green, and violet. And then we can mix secondaries and primaries to make tertiary colors. To make a color lighter, we're going to add white to a color, usually more white than the color, to make it as light as you need it to be. And then remember, if we're going to make a darker color, we're going to add just a little bit of black at a time because black is very strong and overpowering. Let's get started. All right, friends, now that I've mixed my colors, let's talk about how to effectively paint a painting like this. So remember, we're going to start in the background. Colors that are usually farther away are lighter, and then I'm going to overlap and work my way to the front. So I'm going to get started and you can watch. Remember, you could always, if you did a sketch at home and you labeled it, that's great. But really, if you're looking at the details, so I'm looking at this photo right here as my reference. Looking at a photo is a great idea because there's all these subtle colors that we might not notice if we just wrote them down. So feel free, there's nothing wrong with using photographs as a reference. They are very helpful and you're going to get a lot of information to make your own artwork with. That being said, I'm going to start painting my project and you can watch. Here we go. All right, friends, now that I've finished my background, I'm going to move into the middle ground and finish up with the foreground. Here we go. All right, friends, here is my completed Light of Day project. I decided to use a complementary color palette. I've got green and pink. Remember, pink is a tint of red, so these are complements. I've got yellow and purple. Those are also complements. I can't wait to see how you decide to use color schemes today. Let's get started.